Welcome back, Yellowhammer Nation. It's Yellowhammer Radio Superstation 101 WYDE. Your phone calls and tweets. You can tweet us at YHN Radio. Joined right now today by Cord Sachs. So thankful to have Cord Sachs on with us. He's with Fire Seeds, leveraging 15 years of recruiting and leadership development experience. Cord launched Fire Seeds to recruit dynamic leaders and help install leader development strategies in world-changing businesses. He has been talking with us about the boardroom to the family room and so many other things. We're going to continue today talking about living for significance over success. Cord, welcome back to Yellowhammer Radio. How's it going, man?
Great, Scott, man. Glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you back. I'm glad to be back on with you because I was feeling pretty rough last week when you were here, and I was taken out by the flu just moments after the radio show ended last week.
Gotcha. Oh, my gosh. You didn't go out and get a tattoo or an ear piercing, did you?
No, I did not. But Andrea and I were both out with the flu last week.
And I am sure that in the case of coming into the studio, I'm sure you're glad you didn't do it last week because I think that's why you're here today.
Yes, everyone
that's
else
right.
were taken out. They were taken out. Well, Cord, I want to continue on our great conversation we had. The past few weeks have just been remarkable, talking about living for significance over success. But today, I understand we're going to talk about measuring significance. Now, before we get going, if you will please first remind us the difference between the end goal of significance versus the end goal of success.
Great, Scott. Yeah, just as a reminder, again, success represents all the things that we can acquire in our lives, the tangible things we can put monetary value to. Those are the success-oriented things in our life. Now, significance is much harder to measure. It's much more intangible, but it has to do with the impact we can have on people, the value that we add to the people in our lives.
Okay, so Cord, how do we think about measuring our significance?
And that's a great question. And honestly, since the last show, that's been the big question. Hey, how do we measure that? How do we measure significance? I can measure my success, but I don't know how to measure significance. So I'm gonna give a little economics lesson of all things to give us a bit of a benchmark as we start to kind of understand how can we look into our own lives and measure our own significance. So I know you guys are probably on the other end of the campus in the journalism and communications part. I was in the business school, but I'm
the J school kids, yeah.
That's right. So I'm gonna give you a little economics test as we move through.
Oh boy.
We're going to use probably one of my favorite industries, the coffee industry, as our example to kind of play through this lesson.
Okay.
So all right, if we're going to use the coffee bean, and I've got a pile of coffee beans, I'm going to set in front of you, Andrea, and this is going to represent the lowest economic offering. All right, what is the lowest economic offering called?
Commodity?
Ding, ding, ding. You
Yay!
can so you can, the lowest level is the commodity. That's right.
That's pretty good, Scott.
I try.
So if I put a pile of coffee beans in front of you and you ask for a cup of coffee, Andrea, are you a bit disappointed?
No.
You're not. So you're going to be able to drink that pile of coffee beans.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Chew 'em
you
up.
got me. Yeah, if they're covered in chocolate, maybe so. But no, you're right. I would. It needs to go to another step. It seems like.
That's right. The lowest level is the commodity. There's not a lot of value there, and so a commodity individual is an individual that says, I want to have a non-negative contribution to society. That's my only goal, is to have a non-negative contribution. So there's not a ton of our listeners out there that are commodity folks. So let's move to economic stage number 2. You have to add value to the coffee beans to get here. But as you walk through Publix, you can reach across the aisle and you can pull out the bag of coffee to take home. And what is that economic stage called? That is what?
That's a goods. A goods.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. That is your good. There's been more value that's been added to the coffee beans. Someone grinded them up. They added flavor. They put them in an attractive package. And now you're willing to pay a little bit more money for the bag of coffee than you were for that pile of beans. And so
sure,
maybe
right.
that bag of coffee, each cup would represent about 10 cents now. A couple cents for the bag, for the pile of beans, 10 cents now a cup. At the good level, the good individual, they want to provide the minimum amount of value just to keep the status quo. It's
okay.
the person that says, I'm just going to do the minimum amount to keep my job. Or,
Okay.
some of our kids at home are struggling because they just want to do the minimum amount to just pass and not fail.
Right.
And so that's kind of the level of a good. But then as we move to the next stage, we're driving down the road and we see this yellow ambiance that is the Waffle House. And we pull in and we ask
Scattered
for a
weather
cup
covered.
of coffee. And it is delivered immediately to us. What is this economic stage called?
Well, I think I can get this one right, Cord. So let me redeem myself. I would call that a service.
That is the service.
Yeah.
Very good. Great job, Andrea. So there's another level. It's called the service. And this is a level where you come in with some expectations. You want to get a hot cup of coffee. And as long as that cup is delivered to you in a relatively quick amount of time and it's hot, you are satisfied. And so this is at a level where a lot of us and a lot of your listeners begin to engage with other people.
Mm-hmm.
They do want to have a satisfied customer. They want to give enough value in their relationships to where people are satisfied with that relationship. But there's two more stages. There's 5 total. There's 2 more stages of economic offering.
Oh boy.
Most business schools they don't talk about these two. And so I'm gonna kind of paint the picture of the environment that produces the level 4, and I'm gonna see if you can describe what environment I'm talking about. As you pull in, you smell the ambiance and the smell of seasonal coffee brewing. You hear music that's played. If it's Christmas time, it's Christmas music. You look around, there's leather plush seats that you could go sit down in. When you walk up to make your order, there's tons of opportunities for you to personalize the order with whipped cream and sprinkles. And when they get your order, they ask for your name and they write it on the cup so that when your cup of coffee is ready, they call your name out and your personalized cup of coffee is ready for you. All right, where are we?
Starbucks.
Starbucks.
I was going to give the first hint of the Green Mermaid. You didn't need it.
No.
You're at Starbucks.
They've got a lot of my money, Cord. I know.
And guess what? You're now willing to pay 4 and even 5 times for that cup of coffee because of the experience they have provided. So this 4th level of economic offering is called the experience level. It's when we think holistically about other people and we want them to experience us as positively as they possibly can as we engage. These are encouragers. These are those that really try in an engagement to leave that individual as positively as they possibly can. And so they do think very intentionally about how they engage. They're interested over interesting. Right? They think about, they ask questions about the other individual. They add a lot of value in that relationship. And so that is the 4th level. There are those out there that we call them experienced individuals, and they offer a ton of value. But there's one more level. There's one more level of economic offering, and I have to actually leave the coffee industry to get to this one because there's not anybody in the coffee industry that I know does this.
Oh.
All right, we're down to 2 minutes, by the way. 2-minute warning.
2 minutes. Here we go. Wrapping it up. There is someone in the fast food industry because last night, if you went to Chick-fil-A on 280, you would notice that they had their daddy-daughter date night.
Oh, that's
and there
cool.
are some organizations out there that they think not only about delivering you an unbelievable service with what you expected in an environment that gives you an experience, but they want there to be transformational change. The 5th and final level of the economic offering is transformational change. When you think so holistically about the individual that you're engaging, that you not only want to impact them, but you want to impact the people around them that matter most to them. And that's what Chick-fil-A did last night. They didn't want to just sell chicken sandwiches. They wanted to provide an experience that actually transformed the way dads that would come into the store engage with their daughters.
That's incredible.
Are we individuals that live with this intent and this mindset to deliver transformational change in the relational investments we make throughout our lives? 5 levels of impact, 5 levels of economic offering, a benchmark to kind of begin to gauge the level of significance I have when we measure up to these 5 areas.
That is beautiful stuff there, Cord. I enjoyed talking about significance and success with you today. And look forward to continuing on this conversation next Tuesday, man.
Awesome. It's always a pleasure. Excited to be here, excited to engage. And Getting great feedback from tons of folks listening.
Awesome. We'll talk again next Tuesday. Cord Sachs with Fire Seeds. Andrea, we'll see you tomorrow. God
All right.
bless. See you tomorrow.